someone if they wanted a sharper mate.
Bollinger's about £120 for the big chitch here. Good morning, everybody. We got there eventually. Good morning, welcome back to day 2. Very rarely today I may make reference to something that was said yesterday. Otherwise, I'll just take it as read that you'll read into the fact that when we cover techniques today, the stuff we cover today, that what we did yesterday, all of that applies as well, combined with what we're covering today, so that we don't have to keep covering the same ground and stuff. Now, Hypno-TRICKS, that's what we're going to get started this first morning session. This is stuff that is guaranteed to work on everybody, just so long as they've got a brain cell in their head and they're actually, you know, they can hear you, what you're saying, they've got a brain cell in their head, and you can actually get them off their ass in the audience if there's a group session or something like that and get them to come to the front. If you get from that far to the front, they're guaranteed to work. So therefore, knowing they're guaranteed to work, if you're doing a group session for smoking or whatever and you want a few convincers at the start of it, or you're going into a company doing a sales blurb, so you're going to be spending an hour, 2 hours in the sales company giving them all this psychobabble that, you know, program your mind, you're going to be much better at sales. Stand up when you're on the telephone because it makes you feel really good and confident because the other person's going to be sat down. And all that kind of junk, whatever you're going to tell them for the 2 hours. If you can do some stuff beforehand, immediate, the moment you start, so you can get a few people out, do stuff, even if it's only like yesterday, you know the finger and thumb thing, you do something like that instantly so that everybody thinks, wow, something's instantly occurred. So whatever else he tells us in this training seminar is actually going to work. So then as the salespeople sat watching thinking, well, what it says is going to work, ultimately whatever you tell them, whatever you come up with off the top of your head about, look, think of this, it's going to make you more confident, and if you sit like this, you're more likely to get a sale, or, you know, whatever rubbish you read, all you need to do is go to the library and get a flipping book on sales, or flipping Anthony Robbins' personal power book, read it, model it as they would say in NLP, in other words, copy it and rewrite it. There's your script for your sale. It's simple as that, because that's all I ever did. Now I'll probably get sued by Anthony Robbins, but essentially when I'm doing sales stuff, it's his script, just slightly rewritten. And then at the beginning, not all of these, but one or more of them. So we'll start with weak arm, strong arm. For this I'm definitely going to need, come on. Yeah, good man, this way. Now this is very similar to something that gets done in some NLP trainings, except also slightly different. So feet together, that's wonderful. What I want you to do is just place your right arm out in front of you, okay? Just close your eyes. I just want you to concentrate on your arm, okay? Think of the time in your life when you felt quite down, depressed, not so good. It might have been the time you lost that sale, if it was a sales. Or it could be that time in your life when you felt so stressed you wanted a cigarette, if you're doing a group smoking session. It could be that time in your life when you felt really stressed out and you started comfort eating, if it was weight loss. So you just, which means that, the phrase we used yesterday, you can just, by using that phrase, link it to whatever it is you're trying to portray yourself to be in the scenario of whatever seminar it is you're doing or training or what have you. And I want you to be aware of the power that the emotions in your mind, the feelings of that time, okay, made you feel like. So in actual fact, your mind controls your body, so feel as you felt then, not particularly good, not particularly strong, in fact quite weak, quite down, and not particularly good whatsoever. And you notice it's just, that's all it takes, one finger when you're thinking like that. Now I just want you to put your hand out in front of you like that, close your eyes, think of a time in your life when you felt really good, really confident, on top of the world, okay? When you felt superb, you felt you could rule the world. When you made that biggest sale of your career today, if it's sales, that time when you actually did manage to stop smoking for a week, okay, you started again, but you know, you managed to be a non-smoker for a week, if it was smokers. So which means that, whatever it is you want to relate it to. And think in your mind, turn the colour up in your mind. on the picture you've got there. Turn the volume up, turn the intensity up, feel it from the tips of your toes to the tips of your fingers. Feel that strength in your arm, feel that strength. If I clench your fist, really feel that strength going into your arm. And I'm going to try and push your arm down like I did before with one thing, but feel that strength, turn up the colour, and notice how much strength it gives you. Notice how much strength it gives you. Notice how much strength it actually gives you. Notice how much strength it actually gives you. That's it, just open your eyes, you see. You feel how much stronger you felt there, really good. That just shows everybody here today that, you know, if you program your mind positively, then you're going to be able to make that sale. Or if you program your mind positively, you're going to be able to stop smoking with ease. Or if you program your, which means that. Okay? Now, it's not all the psychobabble rubbish. At the end of the day, it's as simple as close your face, close your eyes. The first time round, I did not give any warning whatsoever when I was going to push his arm down. I was talking, giving it all this, not feeling particularly good, and then suddenly, I just come along and push his arm. People perceive it as, oh, well, I've been saying he's weak and that, so that's why it's gone down easy. It's gone down easy because he's had no prior warning whatsoever that I was going to come and do it. Okay? But it's still, even then, you know, but even then, one finger it was instead of the second time. When you give somebody prior warning, because their eyes are closed and they're not as aware of their arm, when you say, this time I'm going to try and push your hand, and you come and actually let them feel it before you start pushing. Clench your fist, which the first time they just said hand out in front of you, that gives them the more strength. They're now more aware of their arm, they make it stiff, so logically it is harder, and you can get somebody else from the audience to be the one doing the pushing. Now in NLP, some NLP trainings do a thing very similar to that, except they do it the other way around. They say, oh, feel the strength, and they have them with their eyes open, they're going, and then they say, oh, think about being weak and all that, you know, turn the intensity up, and then they do it again, and it's supposed to go down. Well, sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. It depends how cooperative the person is. Do it the other way around, then you're not giving them any chance for it not to work, because they don't know the first time you're even going to push their arm down, so they don't try stopping you because they're not aware that that's what you're actually going to do. And the second time you've as good as told them to keep their arm there, because you're saying, I'm going to try and push your arm down in a minute. Try when she's saying, please don't let me.
Yeah.
But everyone gets the perception of it by using that phrase, which means that, as I've said there, you know, in all the different contexts, which means that it can mean whatever you want it to mean in the context of a group therapy session, a sales training seminar, a motivational group, a stage hypnosis show. Whatever you want it to mean is what it can mean, and that's explained in the stuff you're taking away with you as being called the weak arm, strong arm stunt. Okay, next. Let's try something a little bit interesting with you. We'd like to just take a seat. Not quite, no. That's brilliant. We'll just move you a little bit that way. Brilliant. Go on. Bass, yeah? Bass, yeah? Go on. Testing one.
That's better.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Not better.
Just thumping every time you were saying, sort of vibrating.
Okay, no, that bit clearer.
That's right.
Right. Okay. Right, just take another chair there. Okay. What I'd like you to do is move ever so slightly, just ever so slightly round there. That's brilliant. Take a seat. So you've got your person up or whatever. What I'd like you to do, sir, it's quite simple. It's just an imagination exercise. Just sit with your feet, kind of like we said yesterday. That's wonderful. Okay. Wonderful, just nice and comfortable. Just take your hand. What I want you to do, we're not going to place you any form of trance or anything like that. I just want you to cooperate here and help yourself enter a state of mind where hopefully we can get something very special to happen for you here and now. So what I want you to do is just look at your hands as I bring it towards your face. Just allow yourself to close your eyes, okay, so that you can concentrate more clearly on what we're going to do. And keep your eyes tightly closed at all times, just so you can concentrate clearly on the mental picture I'm going to ask you to think about in a few moments. And I'm going to place your hand down onto the table like that, and just leave it stuck to the table, almost as though it's locked, glued, welded, cemented to the table. Just imagine it as if it was. In other words, don't move your hand from the table at any time until you really feel that pressure right there. That pressure right there, the pressure you're feeling right now, okay? Concentrate on that pressure you're feeling right now. And realise as long as you can feel that pressure right now, that your hand will remain locked, glued, welded, cemented to the table, okay? But realise that you'll allow yourself, when you can no longer feel that pressure right there, to let your hand move up in the air. You'll actually move it yourself because you want to when you stop feeling that pressure right there. Nod your head if you understand. That's brilliant, sir, okay? That pressure right there. I'm just going to take my hand away, but you can still feel that pressure right there. And I don't know when you'll stop feeling that pressure, but when you do, you'll find that your hand will just start to rise up into the air. When you feel that pressure right there, move away, stay in there. Now when you feel that pressure coming back on your hand, I don't know when that's going to be, you'll find that your hand starts moving down again, okay? Locked, glued, welded, cemented together. Let's try something interesting. I need somebody else from the audience, the gentleman here. But what I'd like you to do is just stand there at the side of him if you would. That's brilliant. Put your hand out like that with your finger, okay? Oh, point towards here. That's brilliant. In a few moments, I want you to do what I did, okay? When I take my hand away, I want you, when you feel you're ready, to move your finger in the air. Something very special is going to happen here if you just relax and keep your eyes tightly closed. You'll find that for some strange reason, that pressure right there, when you feel it disappear, again you'll allow yourself to lift your arm in the air when you feel that pressure right there disappear. And not until you feel that pressure right there disappear. And not until you feel the pressure come back, but when you feel it come back, then and only then, I'll keep quiet for a few seconds beforehand, then and only then you'll feel your hand go back down. Wakey, open your eyes. Give them a round of applause. Some people would like to believe that you can use hypnosis for, you know, if you want to get into doing lectures for psychic fairs and stuff like that. That's another market there where there's a lot of money in. You don't need to go along and do cold reading or tarot reading to make extra money, but if you want to, fine, all that stuff's on the CD-ROM as well, how to do it. But if you just go along and do some demonstrations like this, which appear to be psychic style, or you can portray them as being real mental, tuning yourself up, and then you can do things you never thought were possible, positive thinking type demonstrations. There is no hypnosis, step one, quite obviously. Step two, the wording was all important there. How is it done? Well, we'll take the table away, because the table is a key to it. Basically, it is blocking my feet. Now, some of you may find it easier to see some of this if you just stand up for this little point. Imagining there is a table here, okay? If you imagine there's a, yeah, that's brilliant. Imagine there's a table. So step one, I've said look at your hand. All I've basically said is please close your eyes. Please keep them closed. Please put your hand on the table. Please act as if it's locked, glued, welded, cemented together. That's all I've essentially said. I said imagine it as if. I've not said try and take your hand away, but people will walk away after the demonstration and remember it wrongly and say, you locked that guy's hand to the table. Well, no. I just phrased it so people will perceive that is what was going on. I just asked him to cooperate, as simple as that. So he's under the impression I'm just asking him to do something that's necessary for this experiment. But the audience perceive it as though I've already locked his hands to the table and put him in some kind of trance. So his reality here of what's going on is completely different to the reality the audience have got. Hence we call it the dual reality principle. Now his hands on the table and I'm apparently pressing it down saying you can feel that pressure right there. and I move my body forward and my arm moves a bit, which gives the impression that I'm pushing really hard on his hand on the table. So everyone perceives that I'm saying that pressure right there. And they perceive that I'm pressing on his hand and pointing out that it's his hand where the pressure is. What is actually happening under the table, my right foot is on his left foot, the front of it, on his toes. And when I say that pressure right there and apparently press down on his hand, I'm pressing down firmly on his foot with my foot. Hence, that pressure right there, but I'm actually pushing down with my foot on his foot. And that's why I said it a few times, to make sure he realises that I'm talking about his foot. That pressure right there. And then, nod your head if you understand. Right in front of the whole audience, I've asked him, do you realise what you've got to do when I take my foot away or put it on your foot again? And when he nods his head and says, yes, I know that when I take my foot away from his foot, that he will lift his hand in the air. I know when I put my foot back down on his foot, he will put his hand down. So then I say, right, that pressure right there, do the miming again one more time so he knows I'm pressing his foot, pressing down on the hand. Then I take my hand away and say, but you can still feel that pressure right there. And I'm pressing his foot again. But the audience perceive that I'm giving him a suggestion. He can still feel the pressure on his hand. But in actual fact, I'm just reminding him again, you can still feel that pressure right there under the table on your foot. So then when I want his hand to go in the air, all I have to do whenever I want it to go up is take my foot slowly off his foot and move my finger at roughly the same time for it to go into the air. And when I want it to go back down, all I have to do is time it with pushing back down on his foot so it goes back down. Which some people find impressive. But then you're always going to get the odd one who suddenly thinks to themselves, well hang on, he just waited till he started moving his hand of his own accord and followed it and was lucky to time it about right, which is why then you get somebody else from the group to come and stand at the side, and again, you're just reminding what he's got to do, that pressure right there, and apparently pressing, but you've got your foot back on his foot, and when the gentleman at the side lifts his finger, all you've got to do is take your foot off his foot, and he knows to lift his hand up. And when you want it to go back down, you just press back down. And it's as simple as that, right? There's no trance, and then open your eyes, wonderful, you know? And everyone's like, wait, you sound like you just stay there a moment. Everyone's like, the audience perceive that completely differently than the person up here. Now, the person up here perceives that they've just kind of been told to imagine a few things, and that when you take this pressure away, they've got to put their hand up and put it down. Now, if they then go back to the audience later on, and at lunch break, or afterwards meet up with somebody, and they get talking, and the person says, well, it's really weird, this. But there was a guy stood at the side of you, and your hand went in the air. It didn't go in the air, though, until he started moving his finger. And then the person who's been sat here with their eyes closed, who didn't know that that was going on, will try to reconstruct in their mind what actually happened, and they think, well, I can feel a bit, and even more, they end up talking to each other, the audience with the person with the audience. When the audience say what happened with the guy over here, and that's when and only when his hand moved, that makes it even more confusing to the person who was up here as to what the hell went on. Which therefore makes him seem like, well, I don't really know what went on. And because he doesn't really seem to know what went on, that convinces the audience members that he was speaking to that something must have been going on that was hypnosis or what have you. And that's what's referred to in the printed literature as the animated arm. And a little point on the side, if you're out and about in public and you ever want to do that, if you're in a bar or something, if you know the people at the bar really well and they'll let you, the best place to do it is actually to go behind the bar. Because if you stood behind the bar and used the bar as the platform for pressing the hand down, your legs are completely blocked from view from everyone, so they don't see you pressing and cueing the other person on the phone. Right, next. Okie dokie. Oh, great. We'll try that one then. We'll try that one. That should be. Yeah. Just move this one over there slightly. What I'd like to do is just stand up a little bit, sir. That's wonderful. If you just place you just maybe about there. That's wonderful. If you'd just like to take a seat. Again, it all comes down to whichever way you want to present these things, whether it's a fail-safe device when you're doing a show, whether it's some kind of psychic meditation thing for a psychic bear, whether it's I've done this has happened to you, which means that it will be really easy for you to achieve the lifestyle you want to achieve. That's the key phrase, just to put it in the context of whatever it is you want to do with the stuff, which means that. Okay, so what I'd like you to do, as we did before, is just look at your hand, close your eyes, just allow yourself to close your eyes, and allow yourself to let your head fall forward, and allow yourself to keep your hand on your lap and keep your eyes tightly closed at all times. Because that will allow you to concentrate and tune in, because we're going to try and increase your awareness and your sensitivity through the power of the mind. And I want you to keep your eyes tightly closed at all times, but just become aware of everything I say, just become aware of any noises in the room, just become aware of any sensations, of any feelings whatsoever. And if this were kind of, if we really wanted to psychically energize you, what we do is you keep your eyes tightly closed and just keeping the hands well away, but it would kind of cleanse your aura and focus energy in, sort of thing. And being aware at all times of any sensations and feelings and remembering everything, but eyes remaining tightly closed. Where you are, wake you up in your eyes. That's brilliant. As you were sat there just then, right then, I want you to tell us what you felt, what you were aware of, if you need anything. What did you feel? What did you become aware of as you relaxed there?
I could feel you moving around me. A couple of touches on the left shoulder.
Well, just now? Yeah?
Well, second ago.
A second ago, yeah? A couple of, out where? What, where? Where was it?
Just on the back. Shoulder.
So which side's that?
Left hand.
Left hand side, how many tabs?
2.
2 tabs on the left hand side just a second ago.
Yeah.
Would you be interested to know I've been stood over here for about 10-15 seconds? I was nowhere near you. Everyone could see you. Take a seat, sir. That is, again, which means that, however you put it across, is actually a thing that's on sale called Psychokinetic Touches by a guy called Banachek. Now, the actual which technically means I shouldn't really tell you how it's done, but given that I did research on it, and it wasn't Banachek's idea anyway, it was a guy called Milburn Christopher, a magician from a long time in the past, and in one of his books, it actually mentions how he was trying to demonstrate the power of the mind, positivity, and he made somebody feel 2 taps on the shoulder when he wasn't stood anywhere near them. It's actually explained back there. That's why I'm going to explain how it's done. We use the dual reality principle again. What is going on up here for this gentleman, whoever you get, is completely different to what's going on for you, the audience. And also on such a level that afterwards, when the audience talks to the person and the person talks to the audience, it becomes so confusing that the audience actually end up completely convincing the person on stage that something really freaky happened. Now I can't stress enough, be very careful how you present this. If you wanted to present it as something really, really psychic, as opposed to being able to focus your mind to be more sensitive, or you know, in a self-help context, but if you wanted to make it really spooky, then, you know, with the use of a bit of music, a dimly lit room, it can actually scare the living crap out of people afterwards when they get talking to everyone who is watching. Because everyone who is watching will swear blind that I've been stood over here for like 10, 15, 20 seconds, and yet, a second ago, you just felt 2 taps on, the same shoulder, the left shoulder. So then that person becomes convinced by all the people who were watching that I wasn't anywhere near them at the time they felt those taps. So that scares the living crap out of them, because there's no logical explanation as to what the heck's going on. But there is. The eyes closing bit is purely presentational. Again, you see how it's very much the way Derek Brown does it. If you look at the way he does his so-called inductions on his programme or even on stage, he doesn't refer to it as being an induction. So therefore there can be no resistance by the people, because you're not asking them to go into a trance where you might make them look stupid. You know, we're just taking you to a heightened state of synchronicity, whereby I just want you to look at your hand, and as you do, allow yourself to close your eyes, let your head fall forward. Put your hand there, keep your eyes tightly closed. Now, to the average member of the public, they would walk away and believe I've just placed that person in trance. And that is how they would talk about it after the event. It's not in any form of trance. So how was it done? Well, quite simply, this aura cleansing crap, whatever way you're putting it across, whether it's self-help, psychic or whatever, you still need to mention the aura stuff. So it's like, you know, a lot of people say you've got this aura around your body, blah, blah, blah. And then you start giving it all these gestures, but his eyes are closed, okay, at this point, so he can't see what I'm doing, but he can feel a bit of air. But I'm making it blatantly obvious without saying to the audience, look, I'm definitely not touching him. Because the moment somebody says, I'm definitely not touching him, it makes it damned obvious I'm going to touch him. So I don't say it, because otherwise it enters your mind, but start making all the sweeping gestures, so you see that I'm not touching him, and then on about 3rd time round, as I go down, and my hand's still here, okay, I'm still a distance from him, but as my hand goes down, the moment it goes out of view, my middle finger just bends like that. So I'm still that much away from his body, okay? So where you see my arm is, your visual perception of it is that my hand isn't near at any time his back. So as I casually go past, my finger, well, as soon as it comes out of view, but we'll do it in view this time, only needs to bend in like that to knock his back. Just rub down once, and then I'm straight past and out. And then when I go back up, another one bend in, again with still visual perception away from the back, and you've got your second tap. And then walk very quietly, immediately out of the way. And you've got to be quiet, because otherwise they hear you walking off. That's where the confusion comes in afterwards. And without saying a word, get someone to stand up, tap them twice on the same shoulder, leave it a couple of seconds, and then it comes down to the question, and you say, open your eyes. Say, were you aware, well, what were you aware of right then? And you've got to shut them up before, you know, you've got to phrase the question right, so what were you aware of? No, walking around, yeah, we'll just go through it again, lads. So walking around, that's where, were you aware of any sensations at all? And you notice I'm moving my hands to try and essentially say, remember, you know, you felt yourself being tapped round here. Were you aware of any sensations? Tap. What? Taps on your shoulder? How many?
2.
Now you see, originally you said tap. I've gone taps on your shoulder. How many? To remind him there were 2.
Yeah.
So 2. Now, how long ago was that roughly? A little while, a few seconds ago, yeah? You said a little while ago, because that's what it was, but I've just preempted it. Oh, just a few seconds ago then, he's agreed to it. Everyone knows I've been over here for a good few seconds, so I couldn't therefore have touched him. So everyone in the audience after will swear blind that I was nowhere near him. Therefore, totally convincing him I was nowhere near him. And it all comes down to the fact his eyes were closed. And as I say, it looks as though you're not touching him because your finger just, that's all it is. As second as that. But the moment it's out of view. And that's what's sold as psychokinetic touches on the internet, but it's actually an idea by Melbourne Christopher. I have to say that on the tape, otherwise I'll probably get a nasty letter off manager.
You will.
You are?
You will.
I will.
I know him, you will.
Well.
Jonathan, I've got a question.
Yeah, okay.
Obviously, as you know, it does date back to Melbourne Christopher
Yeah.
and predates Melbourne Christopher.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it was used in the seance days and stuff, yeah.
Yeah. But what Banachek or Steve Shaw added was the time misdirection and the aura cleansing. And that's what he sells.
Well, he didn't actually.
Well, the original...
He claims he did, but he didn't. If you read the books, Melbourne Christopher did it in a room, yeah? Okay. And if you read the stuff about the old seances and stuff, they did do, actually, they made reference to aura cleansing.
Yeah.
You put Melbourne Christopher together with the aura cleansing, and you've got the full picture.
Which is psychokinetic touches.
Which is, yeah.
Markets.
Yeah, which he
Which
markets.
is what I'm saying. It's
But all he's done is taken two other people's ideas and not in any way, shape or form credited them both. All he's credited is Melbourne Christopher in his manuscript.
But he added
And that's a very brief...
direction and the end questioning technique. Which
I don't believe he did, love, you see. Because the
You're basing it
questioning...
on opinion and not fact.
I've got his manuscript. I've also got the book mentioning Melbourne
I'm not
Christopher.
denying that, I'm saying he
And I've also got the other books on the seances. And if you read them all, there is got to be time between one thing and the other. There's no ifs, ands or buts. The only way it works is if there is a time distance between one thing and the other. So dating back right to seance days, there had to be a time gap, otherwise it wouldn't work. Okay? And your reading of the seances, they had to make reference to the aura and all that, because otherwise what logical reason is there for those people watching to be anywhere near them?
Well, there's many different... What you're talking about, your presentation there. There's many different presentations of it.
Yeah, but the way it's done originally, pardon?
Banachek's marketed product is packaged of all of that.
Wait a minute. No. Both wrong. Melbourne Christopher.
Let the Prince explain this one.
Melbourne Christopher, actually, he talks about that because he talks about a psychic that either walks on one
People down the
etc.
street. Yeah.
But Christopher stole that from a guy named Truesdale, Bottom Facts. So this thing can go on and on and on and on. I told you to get a letter starting already.
But basically it dates back so far that, you know, if I get accused of just revealing his idea, then I'll just turn around and say, well, I'm sorry, but all you've done is reveal everybody else's idea was done before you and repackaged it. So hopefully that answers that one.
And the key is presentation, isn't it, not ideas?
Yeah, but the presentation itself, even down to the presentation of an aura and the questioning, it had to be done that way to be successful back in the seance days. Otherwise it wouldn't work. It's that makes it effective, hence the write-ups of seances where people feel the taps. And the medium was stood nowhere near them at the time, but earlier on they cleansed their aura. Now that description, doesn't that exactly equate to what Banachek markets as psychokinetic touches? Essentially, yeah. Aura cleanse, time distortion, correct questioning, nowhere near. And that's what the descriptions are of seances and psychic events going back many, many years before Banachek probably even thought of marketing that. So,
I'm not disagreeing with that. I think we beg to differ, but I'm not disagreeing with that.
no, we beg to differ on that one, mate. But I've no doubt he'll get hold of a copy of this tape anyway when he eventually goes on the website. So we'll let Banachek decide, eh? Right, okay. Lots of other little quick hypno tricks, because they're ones that you can kind of pad out and make them a good 5-6 minutes each kind of thing with group. Obviously it's good if you get different people up for each different hypno trick if you were doing a few of them. Now people perceive that with hypnosis you're supposed to be able to get people to do either comical things or change. It said it can make you stronger when you hypnotise. People say that. So if you were doing perhaps a sports psychology seminar, shall we say, okay? Which again, you go to your library or you go on the internet, you get a book by a leading person and you model, copy their script and rewrite it, okay? Repackage it. And then you just add a few extra bits at the beginning to make yourself look good, namely the tricks. Now if it was a sports psychology seminar, you'd want to get across the idea that the mind can make you weak or it can make you strong. So that strong arm, weak arm thing would be a good one. But then also you could do quick things like if you just stand up, sir, that's wonderful. What I'd like you to do is just put your hands like that, okay? Touch your fingertips together, that's one. Just bend at the elbows, that's brilliant. Touch your fingertips, keep your fingertips together, close your eyes, really concentrate. So you just stand up, that's brilliant. Close your eyes, concentrate. Think of a time in your life when you felt really good, okay? Just imagine it, turn the volume up, psychobabble time. Just to get the point across that if you focus your mind, then you can be better at sports, you can become stronger, or whatever the point is you're trying to get across. Remembering the phrase, which means that. Really concentrate, keep pushing your fingertips together as much as you can. Now this should be a simple thing for you and me, but I want you to realise, believe in yourself, you're really, really, really strong. What I'd like you to do is just take hold, just about there, that's brilliant, just about there, just about there, that's brilliant. Keep pushing your fingertips together as much as you can, you're getting stronger and 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 stronger. You're really, really strong now. That's brilliant, 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 brilliant. Hey, would you like to open your eyes and have a look at where I am? Look at this, you really, really are strong, stronger, stronger, stronger. And I better stand up quick before you lose it. That's brilliant. Okay. Yeah, you might have a bit of a sore arm afterwards. Let's try something else. Just close your eyes. Close your eyes, that's brilliant. Just put your hand under your armpit like that, that's brilliant. Just put it there. I'm not turning you into a teapot or anything like that, but the first thing is when you can laugh at yourself, then you can make yourself feel good about when things go wrong, so you can get over them better in life. Psychobabble, right? But a reason for putting them in that position. Concentrate, you're really strong now, you're really strong. Keep pushing that upwards into the air and lock it there, feel it lock there, feel it lock there. Come here, sir, that's brilliant. Take hold of his wrist about there. Keep pushing it up, feel it strong, see it in your mind, turn up the colour, just try and take it. Getting stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger, stuck fast tight, locked in that position. Okay, we'll release it before we break his arm. Wonderful, wakey, wakey, that's brilliant, good stuff. Just take a seat a minute, we'll usually get in a minute, sir. Right. So that could get across those two things with a strong arm, weak arm as well. Oh, we could do another one. I'll tell you, just put it on your head. It's simple as that. Put your hand on your head. In fact, you can sit down for this if you want. Just put your hand on your head. Concentrate as you push down on your head. Keep pushing down on your head, but concentrate on being so strong, okay? Feel the power in your arm, in your hand. Obviously, your hands locked really well, they're cemented to your head. Feel it, really believe in it. Push down on your head. Keep pushing down on your head. Keep pushing down, it's getting stronger, and you can get whoever you want out to try him. You'll probably end up lifting him off the chair before it comes off. Explanation. Presentation-wise, strength or self-belief, or which means that you'll be a good hypnotic subject later, which means that you'll be able to stop smoking. The simple fact is there was a lady called, we'll be doing a couple more of her things later, there was a lady called the Georgia Magnet. In the States, many, many years ago, I don't know the exact year, when roughly, what period was it between?
1875.
1875, okay. And she made a remarkable reputation for herself, and people assumed she was hypnotising people. That's what rumours went round. Then there was other people, rumours went round, oh, she must have some kind of psychic power over people. And eventually it came out, it was nothing more than secrets of resistance. Natural things that occur in the body, the way the body's used, but that most people aren't aware of, and especially when they're presented in the right way, totally takes them out of the realms of people thinking, well, this could normally happen anywhere. So essentially speaking, if somebody puts their hand on the head and pushes down, just so long as they push down with a reasonable, even just a little reasonable amount of effort, then when you get somebody else from the audience, and this is the key point here, If they grabbed hold of them here, they could probably jerk it off his head. So you always say, just take hold of him lightly by the wrist. As long as somebody's got hold of him there, it is physically impossible to get his hand off his head, lifting it upwards, because that's what you said, lift it upwards. You've not said try and slide it forward, you said lift it upwards, and it's physically impossible. Just as, sorry, just as if you get someone to put the hand under their armpit like that, and you get somebody else to get the wrist lightly there. As long as they push upwards, as you've told them to, with the fist, with a reasonable amount of effort, then it's physically impossible to pull it down, because you've got that similar arched strength there that resists. That's what I call resistance. If they're bent at the elbows and they touch the fingers together, again you've got the same arch, but it looks like a completely different experiment. And when they're touching, it's physically, this one's not 100% physically impossible. If the two people end up jerking, that is why you've got to make it clear, is take hold of the elbow area, and if you're going to get them both to pull, just pull now at the same time, a gentle force, and then they can build up to the point where you literally as elbows leaning. Because it takes hardly any effort at all on the part of the person stood there to do it. But you then portrayed it to the audience that they've managed that because, you know, the state of mind's instantly affected the body. Keep your ear for a bit, alright. So that was fingers touched together, hand flat on head, arm under armpits. 1, 2, 3. Okay. It's all about the context you put them across in. So, so you might be in a bar, or if you know, and you want to do something there, it's the ideal place for doing something that involves alcohol. They're bound to have wine bottles, things like that, or you can always take one with you to your seminar. It doesn't have to be an alcoholic bottle, it just happens to be that I've got one. Right, stand up, if you would, that's brilliant. You can say to people, you know, oh, do you feel bad in the morning after you wake up from a hangover? You could do anti-hangover seminars. I mean, I've just made that up and stuff, but you really could. People will pay money for them. To be taught a technique to wake up in the morning and program the mind to get rid of the hangover and feel better. You make an absolute flipping fortune from it. And for something like, and from something, exactly, the drug companies won't be happy. For something like that, you then, you know, you want to show that perhaps instant so-called hypnosis, call it what you will, the way you put it across, that you can make them appear to be drunk. So 2 very quick tests for that. It's like, what I want you to do is quite simple. I'm just going to ask you to put your, sorry, I'll just demonstrate first. Show you that in actual fact, we've got about there. All I'm going to ask you to do really is just cover your one eye with one hand, and then bring your finger down and push it into the bottle like that. Okay? That's simple, isn't it? Nothing special. Well, first of all, what I want you to do is just close your eyes, and just to see the effect that drinking is more to do about the mind and the body, not just the alcohol, although obviously that does have an effect, so don't start drink driving or anything like that. But just imagine having a couple of pints. I don't know how many drinks or what it is that you normally drink. Imagine whatever your favourite alcoholic drink is. Having a couple to the point where you've reached a point that normally you'd be a bit merrily happy. Yeah? Okay, that's brilliant. Just open your eyes. Yeah? Place your hand on that one. That's brilliant. Just place your hand down there, your finger out. That's brilliant. Just point it like that. Yeah, well, no, downwards. That's brilliant. I'm just going to count to 3, just quite simply put it in the top of the bottle on the count of 3, nice and quick. 1, 2, 3. Thinking of the alcohol, just put it in the bottle, nice and quick. No. We'll give you another try, okay? Just nice and quick. You'll probably be nice and easy, okay? 1, 2, 3 into the top of the bottle, nice and quick. You can alright, it seems to be having an effect. Now, just close your eyes. Imagine having another one of your favourite drinks, another one of your favourite drinks, okay? Just open your eyes. All I'm going to ask you to do, quite simply, is this. You just bring your fingertips together like that, okay? So just put your hands out in front of you like that. Okay, feel the effect of that alcohol. Yeah, you got that? Okay, 1, 2, 3, just bring your fingertips, touch them. No, it's, I tell you what, just close your eyes, open, just, all that alcohol's left your body now, your normal self in every way. 1, 2, 3, open your eyes, that's brilliant. Just bring your fingertips together. See? It's not difficult, is it? Brilliant. Now it looks, well, you know what it looked like, we've just done it. Explanation, you can take a seat again, thanks. The bottle one. Okay. Well, I picked the bottle up with my finger purposely, so that I then got my finger perfectly in line with the bottle. I just move it back ever so much. This is what you've really got to try yourself first before you do it on somebody. Because basically when you pull it out, it's a matter of the way you personally perceive things. You've got to be a tiny little bit back from it. So that when you cover your own eye, suddenly when you've covered your eye now, although there's the gap here, it actually looks as though you're over the top of the bottle. Now if you were over the top of the bottle and you cover your eye, it looks as though you're not over the top of the bottle. So therefore, if you suddenly go for it, you're off the way, that's why you miss it. And you notice I did it remarkably slowly, so I could recover from it slowly, so I've done it, but then I just casually say, see, it's nothing difficult. And then everyone's minds took off that, because I've done all the blurb about having a drink. When he comes to do it, I say, okay, and I get him to have his hand a fair distance in the air, so there's more distance to the bottle. And I say, okay, just do it right now, which is giving the sense of urgency. The two things combined, it becomes incredibly difficult straight away. Same with the finger touching. When I demonstrate it, I've not got much of a gap between my fingers. And I'm looking at my fingers, and I'm doing it quite slowly, but casually, you know, it's not difficult at all. When I get the gentleman to do it, big gap, sense of urgency, go on, do it right now, go on. It becomes incredibly difficult to do it. And then when I say, okay, imagine you're now sober, open your eyes, I've let him put his hands so they're much nearer together. I say, go on, just do it slowly. Now everyone misses that. I've said to him the second time, just do it slowly. So he does it slowly, and not surprisingly, if he sees he's going off course, he can bring them together so it looks like, ooh, he couldn't do it the first time, but now he can. You've done the total change around. Again, it all comes down to which means that. Right, where were we there? That is can't touch fingers, eye test. Okay. Do you want to show, oh yeah, another one on the weakness front, which, again, it doesn't matter what you're using them for, it all comes down to when you say which means that, whatever your seminar is, or your session, or your show, whatever. We were doing the others before about strength. You can quite easily also portray that the other way. We portrayed it as though this gentleman suddenly, by the power of his mind, became stronger. But if you want, you can get somebody, get them to close their eyes, you know, make it appear as though you said to them they've become weaker. Still use the same positions on this person here, but then people will perceive it as though the other people couldn't remove their hands from those positions on the person because they've become weaker, not because this person had become stronger. So you can turn it around and do it one of the two different ways. Okay, we've done animated down, we've done touches. Okay. Who in the room's done the Lucia colour test before? Few, yeah? A couple, right? I wouldn't say it's like mega known by the general public, but there are some people, especially in the psychic fair environment, or, you know, that have heard about it. Certainly in companies and corporate stuff, they've heard of psychometric testing, which sometimes involves the Lucia colour test. So if you run into a business environment, okay, it's really nice to apparently do something, the buzzwords that they are into. If you're providing them with what they're into, they book you back and pay you again. And one of their buzzwords is psychometric testing. They've heard of the Lucia colour test. They won't have heard of this, but they'll believe in it because of the colours. The fact that, and that's really what it comes down to. And you show them what you've got is a red, a yellow, and a blue coloured card. No trickery about it, and there genuinely isn't. We'll place them there. And we've got 3 coloured envelopes. Now what I'm going to ask you to do, and you could use 3 people at the front for this, 1 person per envelope if you wanted, to use more of the crowd, or the sales team, or whatever, but we'll just use 1 for time, as it were. We've got 3 coloured envelopes, red, yellow and blue. Now I can tell you here and now that each of these envelopes, okay, contains a coloured card. There's a red coloured card, a yellow coloured card, and a blue coloured card. Now I've arranged them in what the average person in your industry, tests have shown, and this is psychobabble, but it's going to make him feel really good in a minute and hype up the sales team. I've arranged them in what somebody in your industry, my experience and the test have shown, would normally go for. So if this works, this will mean that you've got all the potential within you to be at the height of your industry. Which means that, so you've set him up in advance that if it does work, he's going to go, well, hey, I've got the potential there. And needless to say, it's going to work. So you give them to 3 members of the audience, but for easy viewing, I'll just place them lined on the table. But they could be handed out to people in the sales team or whatever. And then your 3 people are up at the front. You give them the card. So person number 1, you'd say, what I'd like to do first of all, person number 1, whichever colour you feel drawn to. Okay, because it's kind of a psychometric test, this is just to see whether you've got that potential within you, because, you know, whatever colour you feel drawn, it doesn't matter what it is, you can change your mind if you want. You want blue, that's fine. The only clue I'm allowed to give you in this test, 1 clue only, okay, no more help after that, is that these envelopes, I've got cards in, but I can tell you this much. The red envelope does not contain a red card. The blue envelope does not contain a blue card. The yellow envelope does not contain a yellow card. So bear that in mind, because we're trying to get matching sets here, and hopefully if you're drawn to the right colours, as other people are at the top of your industry have been, then hopefully, you know, we should end up with a matching set. So just put it where you feel drawn to place it. Okay, you've placed it on the red envelope, yeah? You felt drawn to the red. You could have placed it on the yellow, but you placed it on the red, fine? Perfect. So person number 2, which colour would you be drawn to? Yellow, where you're going to buddy? Well, you pretty much, person number 3 doesn't have a choice. And then you've psychobabble again. Now if we've got matching sets here, if you've got a matching set, I mean, if you had a matching set, there would be some real potential in this room for growth in this company, wouldn't there? Yeah, you know, whatever cycle. So you kind of future pacing them, as they call it in NLP, which means that, and then you go, well, let's see what we've got here. Hopefully, because we've got the red envelope and the blue card here, hopefully there's going to be a yellow card. We want a matching set of red, yellow and blue. I'm going to let you open them yourself so people know there's no trickery, but hopefully you've got a matching set of red, yellow and blue, hopefully. We shall see. Yeah, you managed it, and then person number 2, let's see, did you manage to get a matching set of red, yellow and blue? Yes, you did, you got a matching set of red, yellow and blue, so that means that, yes, oh look at it, all 3 of you got a matching set of red, yellow and blue. You're brilliant, you've got loads of potential, give them a round of applause, they're going to be wonderful salespeople. And that's the effect, right? Now this is sold, it's over the hills, before you even quote me, right, and say, Eddie Burke sells it as psychic colours, okay?
Was that directed at me by any chance?
No, but before you tell me Eddie Burke sells it as psychic colours, he does openly say...
It was very subtle, Jonathan.
Yeah. He says in his manuscript that it's not his idea.
Say before we finish, or have you had enough of me? You're not going to give me any more grief, or I'll just sit and take it?
Well, if it becomes necessary.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was that necessary?
Yeah, just, it's a joke, sir.
Alright.
Yeah, you know, a joke. Sorry about that, everyone. He's obviously had a personality bypass operation overnight. Unfortunately, it failed.
Really?
I'll try big round, tell people what's funny. As to the explanation, you can make this yourself, don't bother buying the stuff, okay? It's as simple as that. All you need to do is buy flipping giant birthday cards to get the coloured envelopes, coloured paper or card, laminated at Staples. The setup is all it comes down to. You take your red envelope, yellow card. So think red, yellow, blue in your mind. So you've got red envelope, yellow card inside, blue card, so you know you've got one matching set. Then you take your yellow envelope, red card, blue card, so you've got a matching set. And then the blue envelope, doesn't really matter as long as you end up with 3 different coloured cards. Just got to do this. Hang on. It's easier if I just get myself confused here now. Yellow. 1, 2, 3. Sorry, blue. There we go. 1, 2. If you hold that one, then people can see. So you've got yellow and blue, red and blue, yellow and red. It doesn't particularly matter as long as you've got 3 separate sets like that. So the red, yellow, blue, red, yellow, blue, red, yellow, blue. The only 2 key things you need to remember is that the envelope does not have, they're all mixed match, but they have different, not the same colour card basically. So the red envelope wouldn't have the red card in ever, otherwise it won't work. The blue one won't have the blue one, otherwise it won't work. The yellow one doesn't have the yellow, otherwise it won't work. All the rest is then pure and utter psychobabble, the main part of it. It doesn't matter who they give the coloured envelopes to. It doesn't matter which coloured cards they pick. Doesn't matter what order you pick them in. The key phrase is, the only clue I can give you is, that the blue envelope doesn't have a blue card in. The yellow envelope doesn't have a yellow card. That's the only clue I can give you, which is a very casual way of saying, whatever you do, don't put the blue card on the blue envelope. Because that's the only way that this could go wrong, is if he puts the blue card on the blue envelope or the red on the red. So you've basically got 1 or 2 choices. There's only 2 things that can happen, although it looks like it's really fair in that. Blue, where do you want to stick it? Because that predetermines everything, really. The first one, it's the end of the trick, if you like. Because you know now you've only got 2 left, red and yellow. You know the red can't go on the red, so you know what order they're going to end up in. The moment a card gets stuck on there, as long as you remembered in your mind your setup, so you know your red envelope, always remember what's in your red envelope. If it goes red, yellow, blue, which sounds nice, easy to remember, red, yellow, blue, look where your red envelope is, see what colour card's on it. No, it hasn't got the blue on top of it. So we haven't got a set of red, yellow, blue there, which means that we won't have a set of red, yellow, blue here. But what we will have is a blue card inside that envelope. So instead of saying what I said before, I go, if this has worked, if you've done what the top people in your industry would have done, then we would have a matching set of a blue card in the envelope and a blue card outside. So when you come to the reveal, because the only option they've got then the other 2 people is there, you've got matching sets, what they perceive to be the matching set, of 2 matching coloured cards. That's one option that can occur, or the other option that occurs, which is what just did, is that the cards get placed so that you do get a matching set of red, yellow, blue, because your blue gets placed on your red envelope, in which case you say, if you've done what the top people in your industry would have done, we'd have a matching set of red, yellow and blue. So when you come to show them, and they're all red, yellow and blue, everyone perceives that that is exactly what was supposed to happen. And they're the only 2 things that can happen as long as they don't put the blue on the blue, the red on the red, the yellow on the yellow. As long as you remember that, it cannot go wrong. As long as you just say that phrase, the moment the first card's been put on, that is when you casually put it in. We'll have a matching set, if this works, of, and you know already whether it's going to be red, yellow and blue, or 2 matching coloured cards, just off the first card. And you set it there and then, so when you go to your other 2 people, and they put cards out, everyone remembers you said what the outcome would be before people put all the cards out. So they don't even bother, never trail of thought never leads to, well, there's only actually 2 possible outcomes to this. And that's referred to in stuff as psychic colours. Yeah. But obviously, put across as though, in whatever context you want, as though it is colour testing, psychological. What is your potential? What can you achieve? Which means that